Hello everyone, it's Toyhou, or Mamasaurus, with a quick Toyhouse video. I just wanted to make a quick intro talking about Toyhouse. I've noticed that a lot of people seem really intimidated by Toyhouse. It is a kind of intimidating site sometimes because there's so much that you can do. This is my toy house with all my characters and all my fancy coding, and sometimes people will see these huge setups with all the different options and they just get overwhelmed. I just wanted to explain, do kind of a walkthrough of a new toy house account, show you how it works, and explain that all that extra stuff isn't required at all. And if you end up wanting to try it out sometime down the road, then you can try it at any point. It's so easy. And I will make a different video talking about editing and coding and how to use the folders. So here I have made a blank Toyhouse page, and this is what it will look like basically when you first sign in. And all you have to do, this is your home page, this is your profile, okay, right here. You can go to settings, and you can go to profile content, and there's this nice little area where you can type whatever you want. And you can turn on code view if you want to use some HTML, or you can add images, you can add tables, you can make, talk about whatever you want on your profile. And add whatever you want. You can have it display your recent characters there and your bulletins and comments, or you can take all of that off and just have a splash page. On mine, I have the comments hidden, no comments on my profile, but you can click here and you can still go to my comments. See? Just wanted a nice, small, clean splash page. So once you update, then you can see that your profile will have whatever you put there, okay? You can have it linked to your other accounts, your different sites, put a picture of your character, whatever you want to do, okay? So next I will show how to submit some characters. When you add characters, just go up to submit, add a character, okay? This is optional. You can skip this because the best way to display an avatar for your character is actually from its own gallery. You want to put all the images in the gallery, and then you can pull from that. If you upload an avatar, it's saved as the avatar, but it's not in the gallery as much. So it doesn't have a backup, whereas the gallery does. So what we do is we put a name, okay, and we can leave all this alone, okay? Folder, we'll set up the folders in a minute, and we can organize characters at any point. Don't have to worry about what folder it goes in. Visible to. Public will let it be visible to anyone, whether they're logged in or not. You can have it set to logged in users. You can have it set to users that you have personally authorized. You can even make lists of users who will be able to see this character, or you can even set it up just for you. This is a nice way to set up a character that you are still working on, something that you haven't quite developed all the way, or even if you do want special coding on the page and you haven't set it up yet, you can set it up to be super private and then open it up later once it's ready. Listing just depends on the browse, because you can search for characters by like keyword or color or whatever keywords you want to try. If you do unlisted, it will not show up in those searches. That's all. So this is actually all that you need to make your character, okay? The name and whoever made it, whoever designed it, okay? So you can leave it set as I am the creator, or you can choose an on-site creator by their username, or you can choose off-site creator from any link at all. So we're going to click Offsite Creator because this character, Schnurr, was designed by my friend Leaf Shadow 4 at DeviantArt, okay? You can paste in there too. And then that's it. Credit, name. That is literally the bare minimum that you are required to make any character at all, okay? Now, with Schnurr, I actually have some info that I got from the seller of the design. It is, I guess I didn't save it. Oh well. Basically, he likes bread. You can type it whatever you want about the character. Okay, create. Now you have the character. This is all you need. Doesn't need images, doesn't need very much info, doesn't need anything at all. And this can be your starting point. Some people like to, when they join, they like to make a page for every single one of their characters, then go through, upload the images, add the details, all that. You can do it that way, or you can do it piece by piece. I have some images that I want to add. So I go down here to Manage Images, Upload Image, choose File, and I have right here an image of Schnurr. There it is. And the whole image will be saved, but for the thumbnail, you can even set it however you want. If you want a different type thumbnail, you can zoom in wherever you want. So that is helpful for scenes sometimes. Like if your character is in a scene with several other characters, you can upload it and you can zoom in and focus on where they are in the scene. Then we're going to check here. This is characters. Schnurr is the only character in the image. If there was more characters that belong to me or even other people, you can add them. And then the owner of that character would get a message asking, is it okay if I tag your character in this picture? Very helpful. You can automatically ask it to set this as the avatar for Schnurr. All right, so the artist who drew this specific picture is who we are crediting here. We're going to click Offsite Artist, and then we are going to type in the same artist who drew this, okay? We can even set permissions for this. We can set it that public viewers don't get to see the full size. They get a thumbnail version. Okay, this is really good if you have expensive characters or characters that people might want to steal. You can set it so that they don't even have access to see and display the full-size image. They can just see a little thumbnail to kind of get an idea of who the character is, okay? You can choose if it has content that is inappropriate and what type, see? But in general, all you have to do is drop this in here, add credit. Credit is incredibly important. If you do not have proper credit on Toyhouse, your images can be removed. If you forget to add credit, it's not that big of a deal. Sometimes someone will notice and let you know. If you don't credit at all on all your images and all your characters, somebody's going to notice and you could get reported, and they will probably send you a warning asking you to make sure your images are credited, because you are only allowed to use images that you have the rights to, that you're allowed to use. This character belongs to me, so I have the right to use their images. But I couldn't, for example, grab pictures of a dog off of Google and make a character about that. Definitely want to use only images that you have permission to use. So there's Schnurr, okay? So we're going to submit another character. Then once we have a couple, I will show you the folders, okay? We've got Jax. All right. It was created by Cuckoo. Okay, create. Then we are going to upload. All right, this image, so the character was designed by Cuckoo, but this image this image was drawn by me. So I don't have to change the credit at all because it's already linking to me. If you would rather it link to your DeviantArt account or your Instagram, for example, you can totally link to that. But by default, it will default to you. Okay. So now we have 2 characters. So we're going to go back to our profile and look. It's showing our recent characters and designs as these 2. And then if we go to characters, we will see our characters are listed right here as well. Now, what we can do is folders. Okay, folders. This is a bit of a tricky area for some people because there's so many different options for folders. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually open up my same page. This is my characters page, okay? Right now it's showing unsorted. These are all my characters that are unsorted, okay? So that means they're not in folders yet. That's fine. You can leave all your characters there. There's no problem with that. If you want to organize them though, you can go up here, manage folders, okay? You have no folders yet. So what you want to do is create a folder. And we can say, this folder is for brown characters, okay? Parent folder is unsorted. You've got folder privacy and everything. We're going to leave everything right here alone for now. Just create that folder. Now we're going to create another folder and we're going to call it green characters. You can organize your characters however you want, okay? So now we're going to peek back at this page. We're going to refresh it. We're going to see now we have folders, okay? We want to put these characters into those folders. So what we can do is we can go to manage characters. Okay, this is the character management page. Looks basically like your folder, but you can move stuff. So we're going to click Jax. And we're going to tell it we want to put him into the green character folder. And we want to put Schnurr into the brown character folder. Ta-da! Now, when we refresh our page, we will see that there are no unsorted characters. They're all in here. We got brown characters, and we got green characters. Now, this is not the only setup possible. There's so many different options, and it gets a little bit crazy, but I will show you, okay? You can put folders within folders. So let's create a top folder. We'll call it My Characters. Okay, create. We're going to put it at the top. Now we're going to go back into the brown character folder to edit. We're going to move this folder to My Characters. Okay, then we're going to go back to folder management. Then we're going to go to green characters. We're going to move this folder to My Characters and save. Okay, so now when we look at folder management, we see that the brown characters and the green characters are all in My Characters. So if we refresh, we can see that we're still in unsorted, but we have a My Characters folder. And when we enter that, that's when we can see these folders. This is all looking pretty bland though. What I like to do is actually your default folder when people click your character. Right now they're seeing unsorted, but now that you have folders, you can choose where they go first. We're going to set it to show My Characters. So now when we're on this link, characters, okay, when we refresh, now we start out in My Characters, okay, and you've got options for these. Now what you actually can do is go back to My Characters and look at what type of folder it is, the folder style. Right now it's nested, which means these 2 little folders are nesting within this one. If you change it to flattened, watch what happens. We're going to save. We're just going to refresh. There we go. Now you can see it'll be like a list of all the folders, one right after another, in the order that you want, because you can order them right here. Okay? And they'll all be listed right here. I really like being able to see all my characters in one place. If we pop back over to my actual Toyhouse page and look at my characters button, it's set up the same way. I have my characters folder, and regardless of all this, decoration and stuff, it's set up basically the same way. I have my folder for these characters, and then you just scroll down and I've got my folders for these characters, and they're all visible on the same page. You can add as many folders as you want. Other than that, you can make banners or explain the characters by going back into the folder management. You can open up the folder and you can add descriptions with even images and stuff. These are my brown characters. Okay, and then when we refresh, you can see it adds the description right there. Perfect. And you can use Toyhouse even if you don't have images for your characters. Some people are writers and they have these amazing characters and they have such cool backstories, but they don't have any images at all. And you can 100% use Toyhouse even if your character has no images. You can have this area here. All I said is he likes bread, but you can have this so full of all different things, telling all about the character. You can link it to its, different pages if it has any, or you can link to your book. Characters also have what's called a library. See, they have the gallery where all their art will be, and they also have a library. Okay, this one doesn't have any stories yet, but we'll add one real quick just to show how the literature works. When you submit, you can submit literature. I'm going to add literature. We're going to call it a book. Okay, you can talk about your book here. You can tell whether it is just a one-off, whether it's a collection or a multi-chapter, your progress with it. You can work on things here. You can set it to private while you work on it. It's all up to you. You can even have comments on it, let people favorite it, and let people subscribe so that when you add chapters, they will actually get notified. You can add a cast. Let's add from my characters. We're going to grab and see, here's all our folders. We're going to add my brown character, and we're going to add my green character because they're both in the story, but Schnurr is the main character. Okay, you can check that and he'll show up differently. You can add more authors if more people are helping you with the book, and you can begin drafting. See, there we go. We can click add a chapter. This is chapter 1. We write some things. You can even add author notes. This is a good place, add author note before chapter. This is a good place you can add some warnings if you want, because not everyone will want a warning for their entire book if only one chapter has something strange in it. For example, like if somebody has an aversion to spiders, you could mention at the top, warning, this chapter mentions spiders. And you can make that really big if you want. You can make it red. Whatever you want, see? We'll add that chapter. And then you'll have your book, and you'll have chapter 1, and the whole list of chapters will be all down the side here. So now, when you go back to your characters, see, we'll see that, oh, I gotta publish it first. We're gonna publish. That way we can see it on the front. Okay, so now, when we go back to characters, we can see right down here, there's a tiny little book. It says Schnurr has 1 image and 1 book. Okay, so we'll click it. This is his page. It shows that he has 1 book, and we can actually see the book here. It has 1 chapter, 1 word. It's in progress. All of these things are right here, and he is highlighted in blue here because he's the main character. We can read it. It's that easy. Um, and that is basically the general rundown of how Toyhouse works. When you have lots of characters, you can easily organize them in the manage characters. You can sort what order they're in. I only have the two, so you can't really sort, but when you do, you can just click and drag and reorganize what order they're in. Or you can leave them alphabetically or by when you uploaded them. And that's basically it. Toyhouse is an incredible tool that you can use to keep all of your characters' images safe. Sometimes artists will draw your character and then, without warning, they might delete it, or they might get second thoughts about, having drawn it, or maybe it wasn't their current style, or maybe they left the website that you're on. I lost several pictures one time because one of my friends just decided to deactivate her account and move to a new one without telling me, and then nothing was recoverable after a certain point. So having Toyhouse is super nice. It keeps your characters safe. It lets you be in control of their canon story, their information, all of their art and literature, and basically building their page however you want. And nothing is locked in, nothing is set in stone. Anything that you upload, you can edit, change. Say that you forgot to add a credit for who drew this, you just click the little thing. You can just add the artist in, and yeah, it's all very flexible. Nothing to be scared of, nothing to be intimidated by, because there is absolutely no requirements other than credit. Just make sure that you credit who drew the character, who drew the art, who designed the character. If it's a species with rules, just link to it. It's not really very much pressure. We just always want to make sure that we give credit where it's due. And that's all. I hope you have fun with Toyhouse. I hope you try it out. It's a really good tool. Thank you.